Duduzi Moyo is on table 17.
Thank you very much, Peter. My name is Duduzi Moyo, the CEO of Mpilo Royal College. My question is directed to the CEO of Okbay Investment. What did you do that disrupted the market in such a case that the giants are weeping like this? That's what we call transformation. What did you do? I would like you to share with us because we'd like to copy that as well. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to you. What can you do? What can you teach to make big corporates tremble?
Well, let me say, I'm not sure we can teach too much. We're still learning every day. I think it's a very tough environment we're going into. But, you know, if I was to use an example of what we mean by disruptor, I think the entire corporate life of Okbay has been around that. I think with the launch of Sahara, it was really coming with a very different kind of business model. So you challenge the existing market by lower margins and a much more aggressive approach to the market. We then launched New Age into a settled market with a much lower cover price, a very different model of 9 provinces, and a position that says we are pro-people, we are pro-ruling government. And then very recently, I think, you know, we're very proud of our entry into the coal market. 1% direct and indirect of business is done with government. Today we have 5% of Eskom supply, under 5% of Eskom supply. 3.75% of that supply was bought from one of the historically advantaged companies. But the lesson I think that we'd want to say that is a good one for us as black business to look at is the honored deal, which we're taking huge hits in the media about. But let me talk a little bit about the honored deal. Honored was one of the cost-plus models that the chairman speaks about for 40 years. I'm not going to mention any names, but the previous supplier to the Honored Power Station was supplying at the end of that contract at 1,132 Rand per ton. We've started in January at a base price of 483 Rand a ton. We're one of 7 in January that supplied, I think one of 4 right now. I don't know, I think we're one of 4 right now. At more than less than half the price of what the previous persons were doing. That one deal, if Eskom maintains that price when it awards the long-term contract, which we are not in the running for, will save Eskom and ultimately ordinary South Africans 2 billion Rand per annum. Just basically the saving times the tonnages of coal. Now that for me is a very, very good thing to do. We're being maligned in the media about this honored deal. And I think it's simply because I think people have been hurt by us being able to drive a price down. And I think that's going to be the disruption we do, and I would hope that that would be the approach we do every time. How do we benefit our country, and how do we benefit ordinary South Africans? And that, I think, is not going to be a popular approach in terms of the existing market.
All right. As you answer your question, have you unduly favored Okbay?
Look, we went to all our suppliers. First of all, the Exaro contract came to an end in December 2015. In anticipation of that, we put up an RFP to request new contract applications. And then, as a result of the ending of that contract, we were in a deficit of 2.1 million tons of coal, which we needed for our winter stock. Other people said they cannot supply this deficit. Tegeta said they can. You know, and it was a purely commercial deal. There was no favoritism. In terms of Glencore said their export markets have gone down, they have lost a lot of money, they will be forced to retrench, etc., etc. Ultimately, they went to business rescue. At that point, they were owing Eskom 2 billion Rand for poor quality coal, for not meeting their volumes, etc. Again, Tegeta went to Geneva, met the Glencore people who owned Optimum, and offered to take Glencore out of business rescue and continue to supply us at a very reasonable rate. When they wanted 900 Rand per ton, they continued with 150 Rand per ton. But obviously, the RFP is still out. We are going to consider the new applications and so on. But we cannot buy coal at an exorbitant, extortionist price, because NESA will never reimburse us that money. They will say we're not prudent in our coal deals. So it's still a big issue that's going on, but there was no favoritism.
Okay. Stay with us at Morning Live SABC. I'll look at your Twitter's questions as well, but we'll be right back after this.